Hey everybody, let me know you can see me and hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Hi Pam, hi Anna. Well, my mods are here. Gonna have a full class today. Awesome. Hi Kathy. You was here even when you wasn't. Okay, that's fine. In spirits. All right. I want everybody to keep Ruth Perry's family in your thoughts and prayers. They've lost a loved one today, and it's a sad, sad day in the Perry household. Oh, Kathy, I can relate. I can totally relate. Hi, RD. Yes, do, Anna. Thank you very much for that. I know they will appreciate it. Anna, you're just typing too fast. Can I borrow your fingers when I'm working on the website? My fat fingers get in the way. I have to keep going back and deleting and rewriting. No, you're not late at all, Lillian. Yes, give us some love. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I know it gets everybody. What time zone are you in, Lillian? Are you in Arizona where that part of the state is Pacific and the other part of the state is mountain? Yeah, it's what I thought. So part of the year you're you don't switch time, but part of the year you'll be Pacific time and part of the year you'll be mountain time because they do change. And it throws your alls off. Why they won't do away with that, I don't know. I wish they would. I mean, we travel and I have to wear three watches just so I know what time it is. Yeah, they need to just wipe it out across the states. Well, they've proven, doctors has proven that people with health problems, serious health problems that have to take regimented medicine, it messes with their system because I have to back my medicine up when the time falls back. When the time goes forward, I have to move my medicine forward. And I have to start this a month in advance so my body regulates with the time change. Otherwise, I spend about 3 weeks getting my system regulated with the new medicine change. And it's not really a medicine change, it's a time change. So, I tried moving the clock up and back, and yeah, that doesn't work either. Hi, Dearbee. Yeah, we ought to write in a protest. What is it? A petition? And send it to the White House and say, drop this time change stuff. We're done with it. Because I don't know, I have yet to meet anybody that is a fan. Hey, awesome. Yahoo. Well, I got some good news yesterday on my blood work. My doctor called me. My cholesterol, she said, it's up a little. She said, but not enough to warrant any worry. And here I've had 3 doctors trying to give me cholesterol drugs. I said, no. Then she said my A1C was up. And she said that she's not going to give me medicine for it for the simple fact she thinks it could be controlled with diet and weight loss. So instead of pills, she's sending me to a dietitian. And they're going to work on that. And then she's also wanting to treat the symptoms for blood pressure. She's going to talk to the hypertension doctor and see what they can work out together. Yeah, Corinne, but remember, I got doctor stuff I got to take care of. I wouldn't have stopped if it wasn't for that. But if they have to put me in the hospital, if I go see the doctor and he says, I want you in the hospital today so we can run those tests in the morning, then I've got class. Yeah, you don't know what time I'm coming home. And then if Pam says, oh, Tammy's in the hospital, all of y'all might go, schizo, what's wrong? So I didn't want to do, that. Yeah, I don't have diabetes. There's the only source. She looked at my blood work really close and she said most of the source is stress induced and it's really playing havoc with my system. So, and diet. I told her, I said, I haven't been able to stand up and cook for quite some time. My husband's idea of cooking is the closest fast food restaurant. So we do a lot of fast food. But we can't do that no more. I told her, I said, we're not going to do it anymore. If I have to pull a chair up in front of the stove, I will. Got to get a tall enough chair because I'm a short person. So I'll get it worked out. And I'm going to go back on the diet that I did for years. And it's called, because I'm allergic to salt, I have to do diets like people that can't have salt. So, needless to say, that's why my blood pressure is not caused from a salt problem. And they know that. I suffer from PTSD and I have underlying stressors that react while I'm asleep. I know it sounds stupid, but I'll have anxiety attacks and panic attacks in the middle of the night. And that's why I have Amia. She is a service dog and she wakes me up because they said that they can get so severe in my sleep that they can literally cause a massive heart attack and I wouldn't wake up. Oh, I want to be around a long time. Awesome. Yeah, I told her, I said I'd like to get into therapy, but my back is in such a bad state. I think they're going to have to change the back brace that I wear. And if they do, then it's going to be something a little stouter than what I've got. And that's okay, as long as you don't whack me. I've still got all my internal parts. The doctor was floored by that. And so, as long as I don't have to cut on me or anything, I'm a happy girl. I don't want to have surgery of any kind. Not unless it's dire necessity. But I'm not a candidate for back surgery. I have too many spurs. It'd be very dangerous for me to have back surgery. So I just deal with it and I go on and I pray every night. Y'all say hi to Mary Jane. She's in here. She wrote me for class. She said she's going to cry. I'm picking. She said she'd miss me. No, she won't. She'll call me and we'll talk for hours like we always do. But I do, yeah, I got spurs and nerves. I got spurs. My spine looks like a dragon's back with all the spurs on it. And I've got nerves tied up in all them spurs. And them spurs are solid around the nerve. The nerve is right in there. And the doctor said one sneeze could paralyze me and I could come out paraplegic or quadriplegic. So it's dangerous, especially in the location it's in. I've got spurs up in the neck and in the lumbar region. So, and I take no pain medicine. None at all. I came off the pain medicine when he was going up to 6 pills a day, and I just looked at him. I says, "No, I'm just going to learn to deal with it." And he said, "Why?" I said, "I don't want to wake up to take another pill. I have a life, and I want to live it, even if it is in pain." And I have so much pain that I endured over the years. I am impervious to pain. I don't feel pain. I could literally probably cut my finger off and not know it. So, and that's scary. Yeah, I know. Well, to fix my spine, they said they'd have to put rods in my back. And I had a friend that had rods put in her back, and she's done nothing but suffer since they put the rods in. And I'm like, why do I want to do that? I'm already in pain. Why do we want to just continue it, make it worse? It makes no sense to me. So anything other than a new spine, yeah, I'm not doing. I'm not going to get cut on at all. Yeah, we had rain the other day, lots of rain. We was doing the rowboat. So, guess what time it is, folks? It is 3 o'clock. Yay! I want to give y'all some good news on top of the good news. You remember the other day in class, Tuesday, we was talking and I was saying that we was not going to pay the fees on the StreamYard so that I could keep the classes going on StreamYard. I could do the freebie. And Katia come in and said I could only have 5 classes. That's not true. I can have 20 hours of class a month on the free. My concern is I teach private classes to those that need the extra help. And I'm like, yeah, do I really want to take a chance of running over on my time? Because with my private students, there's no time limit. I don't give a time limit. And it's because if we're in the middle of something and they're getting it, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going so that they've got it and they've got it good. So I don't want to deprive you all because I'm helping one student. I don't want to deprive one student because I'm teaching you all. So to be fair, we're going to bite the bullet and I'm going to pay the $481 myself. And let the money that we've collected so far sit in the bank for the website. It comes next year. Okay? The next year is domain name and security certificates. So that's what we're going to do. So if you can help offset that cost in any way, I would greatly appreciate it. It is $481 per year, but it gives me all the time I need to give to you all. And that to me is more important than the bank account. Okay? Because I remember when I was in your shoes. And the resources were very limited back then. I mean, we was doing good to have any videos. Okay. So with that said, we're biting the bullet. Y'all are worth it. Yes, we know. We know. And I thank you very much. I want you all to learn to tap. It does my heart good to see your first stitch. It does my heart good to see your first pattern done. But I tell you who it really, really impresses is Miss Georgia herself. That is the one person that you all make her day with your shares on Facebook. She just gets so excited. Georgia's just now beginning to tat again after the strokes in 2019. She's starting to regain the feeling in her hands. And she tats by feel. She doesn't tat by sight. She's not blind, but she tats by feel. And when she lost the feeling in her hands, she couldn't tat. I mean, she was worse off than a new beginner. And that just blows my mind that it took that away from her. Hi, Jax. Thank you, dear B. But she sees y'all's work, and it brings tears to her eyes. I've seen her cry. Okay? She is so happy that the classes are still going, that they didn't fall off to the wayside. So, remember, that's who we're trying to please, is Georgia. She's first. Okay? She started this. I'm just carrying it for her. And I pay for everything just so it can go forward. So, there you go. All right? Now, we got some questions. I got some questions. Students got questions. Is Jackie in here? Has Jackie showed up? Pam, see if Jackie got her email. Jax, you ain't Jackie. Oh, she's doing better, Karen. She's doing a lot better. She's got her feelies back. She's got feelies back, and she's excited. I wish y'all could hear her. It's hilarious. I love it though. All right, Jackie, you sent me an email. You could not find the Palmetto's Tatting Guild link. You weren't the only one. I did a pinup post, and I don't think it was explaining it well enough. So I'm going to give you all a tour and show you the site and where you become a member of Palmetto's. You've got things you got to fill out, okay? But I believe you can do it online. You used to could. I don't know if you can still. But what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen. And that way you all can see what we are doing. Now, this is the home screen to Palmetto's. All right? And this is where the conference center is. Now, you all are familiar with the hurricane that came through. Well, I was at a campground in Swannanoa, KOA, and I drove back and forth to Ridgecrest. It wasn't that far away. Well, Swannanoa's got some serious damage, and the campground we was at is no longer there. It is, but it's washed down the river with everything else. They're working on getting it built. There's not another campground up there that's big enough to house the rig our size. Okay? So we decided to go and stay at the motel. All right? So we're going to be there, or be square. And I'm going to be there with Georgia, and she's going to be fun, and you're going to have a lot of fun talking to her. And you're going to have a lot of fun in the auction and all that good stuff. So if you're going, you best get signed up. So you go on down past the scholarship auction preview. This is just a tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more probably sitting there waiting on me to get there. So as soon as I get there, I'll get it together. Now, you come here to where these little button dial things are. These you don't click on. They're pretty. They're pretties, okay? You go down past that and you click this remote member application and it will download it to your computer. Then you fill out the information just like the instructions say and mail it with your tatted bit to Palmetto's Tatting Guild, care of Teresa Oren, and this address. All right? Then as soon as Teresa gets it, she will put you in on the registry as a member. Now your tat bit, they ask for butterflies because there's a special meaning with the butterflies for Palmettos. Okay? They'll tell you all about it when you sign up. Okay? Now, you can tap butterflies till the cows come home and donate them. They give those things out at the state fair. The state fair is right after Tat Days. So they give them out at the state fair to people when they come up to the booth to learn to tat. And they teach them to tat there at the state fair. So, you know, they are a nonprofit organization. We are a palm frond of that nonprofit. And there's several palm fronds of that nonprofit. And all of us contribute to Palmetto's in some way. When you get to Tat Days, you will find out I need roller skates. Okay? I am what they call Go for One. Okay? So, that said, that's how you sign up. Okay? And you go in there and you sign up right there where I showed you just now. All right? Print it out. Write your name and all your information on there. And if you'd like to teach at Palmetto's, they are the only guild that pays their teachers. Keep that up here. If you want to become a teacher at Palmetto's, they need teachers. Okay? If you just want to be a student, they need students too. And you want to go to the convention? Go. Enjoy it. All right? So, fill it out. Join the guild. I mean, where else can you go and join something and it costs you a tatted butterfly that you're going to tat anyway? Think about that. 10 minutes of your time. Nowhere. And so do that because, like I said, they hand it out, and then while they're there, they're teaching people how to tat at the state fair. They get paid for that, and that's how they keep the coffers going. Okay? So that and the fact that everybody pays their way, you know, most everybody pays their way to the convention. So, you know, they don't have that over exuberant price. Other places, they charge you a fee. Shuttlebirds does charge a fee. Fringe used to charge a fee, but I don't even think Fringe is around anymore. I think they shut down. There's other guilds around. I can't name them all right off the top of my head, but they all charge a fee. Ring of Tatters. They're in the UK. Of course, you get a newsletter twice a year, but the membership fee for us here in the States is $40 a year. So, there you go. And they don't have digital download. So, but you can also look at the bulletin from IOLI that they send out. And I believe they send it out once a month. I'm not sure. But because we are backed by IOLI, you can put your eyeballs without having to pay the annual dues to IOLI to look at the bulletin. They have it available for you to see. You can download it from them, I believe. Teresa Oren can tell you more about that. If you got a question, ask it. And that tells you about different forms of lace. Okay? Including tatting. There's patterns in there for tatters. So, check it out. And try it. You might like it. Alright, now, we got that one handled. Now, you're wanting to know Your challenge is knowing the direction of tatting because you often get your brain and your hands twisted. Good Lord, woman, don't we all? IOLI stands for International Organization of Lacemakers Incorporated. It is an international organization. There are people that are there and sponsored there from all over the world. They have lace makers. They deal a lot with bobbin lacers. They don't really feel like tatters necessarily or lace makers, but they do stand up for us. Okay, it's just they haven't been trained yet. We belong in that category. We make lace too, just not with all 27,000 bobbins. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I'd have to kill somebody afterwards. It'd make me a nervous wreck. I do good with four shuttles. Give me 50 bobbins. Man, I'd hang myself with bobbins. I'm not kidding you. Rescue me. So, but yeah, they sponsor all different kinds of lace. The Lace Museum in California. Now, I don't know what they do. I'm not familiar with it. I have bought supplies through them that are hard to find, and you can look at them. Lacis, Lacis. They have supplies that you can get. They have a direct link to the Lace Museum, I believe. They used to. I don't know if they do anymore or not. But, you know, you can start either one of those places and branch. Just go for it. And you'll find a lot of things that are out there. I stick with what Georgia did, and I don't go beyond that because my main focus is to keep her legacy going. That's what she put me in the position to do, and that's what I plan on doing. So I don't go seeking other avenues unless it's for something for our classes. Okay? So there you go. Palmettos I will go to before I go to anybody. Okay? Now, as far as the direction of your tatting. All right. If you're a right-handed tatter, your flow is going to be left to right. If you're a left-handed tatter, your flow is going to be right to left. The same way you write, the same way your tatting goes. Okay? Now, as far as telling the direction in your tatting, that is something that comes with practice. Remember, your chains arch like this. If they arch like this, that means you've changed direction. Excuse me. You have changed your direction. All right, yeah, I can share how to reverse your work. Let me finish her questions, and then I'm going to move on to you. Let me write it down here on my paper. Okay? I got all the time in the world to go over this. Now, when you feel like you're getting stressed because you're confused, stop and look at the pattern. Lay your work down on that pattern and see what you did wrong. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see it. You're going to see what you did wrong. Now, how you fix it is practice. Okay? I have to say, that's why I stress, buy the cheapest tatting threads you can find. Aunt Lydia's is perfect to use. Yeah, it's got the humpties in it. Well, they call them slubs. But if you lose it, you ain't lost nothing. You can get a whole ball of like 1,000 yards of Aunt Lydia's for dirt cheap compared to one ball of Lisbeth. So buy you a ball of Aunt Lydia's. Doesn't matter the size, 10, 20, 3, it doesn't matter. Okay? Something you can manage. And start practicing. When we come back, We're going to have a constructive class schedule. And I'm going to walk everyone through step by step as if you've never picked up a shuttle. And each class will be designed to go through step by step. There's going to be a lot of changes when we come back with both the beginners and the intermediate advanced. I want it more structured. Okay? Yeah, and that's fine to work with. Do your finished work in Elizabeth. Do not use Elizabeth for trial and error. I use it on here so that it gives you a crisp view of what it should look like. Okay? The cheap stuff, I use it on here. I don't like the way it looks, and you probably don't either, and it's a turn-off. You want to see the pretties. Well, Tanya, we're going to grant you your wish. We're going to have every week, you're going to know exactly what we are going to do because you're going to have a planned schedule for each class before classes even start. You as a bobbin lace maker, my heart goes out to you. It does. I think it's beautiful. Now, Monique made me last year for my birthday a bobbin lace bookmark. I put it in my Bible. And every time I open my Bible, I see it. And I need to tell you, it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And she does some beautiful bobbin lace. But she's into everything. I mean, she's just magnificent. I'm just telling you. And her hand-dyed thread, I mean, seriously, the color she's doing is beautiful. And the colorways are flowing like they're supposed to. So she's doing a great job. Check her out. Do check out Monique's stuff. She's got some good stuff. All right. Now, let's see. So I got that one answered. Now, Jackie, I'm going to say something here. Okay? And don't take offense, but I want to have one-on-ones with you. I think you need a little tighter direction than you're allowing. And it's not anything you're doing wrong. It's miscommunication between hands and brain. And that happens. Okay? As we age, our brains don't absorb like the sponge our children and grandchildren are. Okay? So remember, it's just age. And I don't mind taking the time to get you on the right path, Jackie. I don't mind that at all. I think it would do you well to have the free time with me. Okay? So if you want to get together, we will. But I think it would benefit you in many avenues by doing that. So just send me an email. Let me know what days and times are good for you. And then I'll set you up because remember, I've got 3 other students I privately teach too, and I have to work it with their schedules I've already locked in. It won't be in the middle of the night. I don't stay up for nothing because after about 10 o'clock, I don't have a brain. He goes to bed before I do. So there you go. So the next thing you asked was, how does one think through color combinations with the core and the working thread, shoelace trick, and other magical techniques? All right, your core thread, let me show you. I'm going to go into a down shot, and I'm going to use this white thread here, because you're going to need it. Let me move my little book out of the way, and switch the cameras. And I want to show you what is a core thread, and what is the actual working thread with just a ring. Oh, no, don't shut down. It just shut down. Let me get it back up. Give me a second. I hit the wrong button, folks. I was trying to zoom in and hit the wrong button. That's on me. It happens. When you got 3 buttons together, guess what happens? All right. Yeah, you need to think it through. Take your time. Never be in too big of a hurry to tat, because tatting is supposed to allow you time to think. Okay? I get a lot of problems solved tatting. Okay? Now, we're going to do a ring. Just pay real close attention. On this ring, here is the core thread. The core thread is what comes from the pinch to the shuttle. Okay? And it comes out this direction if you're right-handed. I am right-handed. If you're left-handed, now I'm going to do this, and it's probably going to blow your minds. I am not a left-handed tatter. I have to think how to do this. All right, now, this is not perfect, okay? But on the left hand, my shuttle's sitting over here. This thread here is my core thread. This thread that the loom is the working thread. Same as if I'm right-handed, same deal. Core thread, working thread. When it's in the loom is on your hand, no matter if it's a ring or a chain. That's a chain loom. There's no follow through on the back side. Okay? Your chain loom wraps around your fingers. This is your working thread. This is what makes your stitches. This shuttle right here, that is your core thread. Now, if you had a shuttle dangling off of here, say we had a shuttle just dangling off of here, a ball of thread off of here, it's still the working thread. If it comes off the hand to a ball or a shuttle this way for a righty, this way for a lefty, it's working thread. It comes off the hand with the pinch, it is the core thread. And what the core thread does, I'm going to show you real quick. When we make a double stitch, watch what I'm doing. It puts that core thread right in the middle of the double stitch. So therefore it runs back and forth through that center. And that's what makes it a core thread. Does everybody see that now? Does that make sense to you? Give me a thumbs up if you understand it. If you're still confused, let me know. Everybody understand that? Tanya says bobbin lace is easy to frog. It's challenging, and either you leave it or you don't. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. If you leave a mistake and somebody doesn't do that, they're not going to see it. I'm just giving you a word of advice. Just like crochet, if somebody doesn't crochet, they can't see your mistakes. The core becomes a working thread when it is in the loop. Right. All right, what do you see differently, Kathy? This is the thread that would be going to a shuttle. Yes, the double stitches slide on the core thread. See? They go back and forth. They don't slide from this thread. You can't move them double stitches with that. Yeah, mistakes do come back and haunt you in tatting too. But yeah, if the stitches slide on that particular thread, guess what it is? It's the core. Needle tatters have an easy understanding of this because their needle is the core. Till they pull it through, it's the core. Once they pull it through, then the thread on the the tail thread on the needle is their core. Yes, this shuttle moves. That's because this shuttle is the core thread. What's coming off here would be attached to a ball, would be attached to a second shuttle. Okay? And that doesn't move the core thread. All it is it's a leg of your pants. Okay? It's one leg of the pants. Now, somebody had a question about the pants. Let me show you something. Let me get my crochet hook here. I'm going to zoom in really close on this so y'all can see. So give me a second. I don't want to make y'all dizzy. And I don't want to get out of focus with this. Is it focusing? Come on, focus, focus, focus. I may be just a little too close. Yeah, that's got it. Now, let me show you this. This is the diagram of a double stitch. You open this stitch up. I guess it'd help if I just put it on my hand like it's supposed to go, right? And it'd make it easier. Now, here it is on my hand. When I open that double stitch up, I have to take my time because this is not real tatting thread. All right, you see we have this top piece here. Well, I'm off screen. We have this top piece here. See the two lines? The top one is the cap or a waistband. I'm out of focus. Am I still out of focus? Can y'all see it? Give me a thumbs up, Anna, if you can see it now. Trying to separate it just enough so y'all can see what it looks like. All right, you got it? All right, this here is a leg. This here is a leg. It looks like two legs. Two legs, okay? And this here at the top is our waistband. Right there. When you pull them stitches together, it tends to look like a pair of pants with a waistband. And that's why you say it's two legs and a waistband, or two legs and a cap. Okay? Now I want everybody to tap one double stitch and look at it real close. And you will see the two legs and the waistband. You got it? I'll wait. I want a thumbs up when somebody's got their waistband and their caps and legs and all that done. And you want it to look like this. When I open it up again, you'll see what I'm talking about. There we go. Y'all see it? Waistband or belt. Either way, it's up to you. But in tatting terms, it's called the cap. Georgia taught it as a waistband and two pant legs. No thumbs up on your keyboard? Right. This will always be facing you on a ring. Now, when you reverse your work, you won't see the cap as often. You'll have a half stitch on the back side. Now, I'm going to show you that. Okay, and I'm going to tat this really, really loose. Okay, I'm going to put in another double stitch loosely next to that, right there. Now, when I turn this over, where you're going to see that waistband and pant legs is center between the two stitches, because you're going to have a half stitch on either side when you reverse your work. Now, I just answered 2 questions with this. What 2 questions did I answer with that? Yeah, it's more like shorts. You're right, Karen. That's reverse work. When you reverse your work, this is what it looks like on the back side. Whoops, sorry. I'm so close to the camera. Well, this camera zoomed in, I should say. But it will look like this. 2 half stitches with a whole stitch between. And when you close that ring, you're going to have a half stitch on either side. And it's right. Because on the front side, you have 2 whole stitches. Okay? Got that? Reverse work. Top becomes bottom. Bottom becomes top. Remember that. What you're doing with reverse work is you are flipping your work in one direction or the other. Now, I'm trying to get this out. I'll do that in a minute. Let me get a sample I got up here. I know I got some samples. I always got samples. I just got my samples packed up for tat days. Okay, here we go. We'll look at this. Okay. This is a good example of front side, back side on your tatting. Let me get it set up. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm trying to get it lined up. If you will look right here, let me get me a pointer here. You will see this is the back side because there's 2 half stitches under that picot. Okay? Now, if I was tatting this and I had just finished this chain, I'd have to reverse my work to do this next ring. And that's what I mean. Reversing your work is turning your work up this way and back this way, depending on what you're doing. If you're working on the ring and you're fixing to go into the chain, you do it this way. You're working on the chain fixing to go into the ring, you do it that way. Got it? Right. It explains front side, back side tatting exactly. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're working front side, back side. It's the same. Okay? So when you close your ring, how do you reverse your work from a chain, and how do you reverse it? When you flip it over, okay, when you flip it over, you're doing your chain or your ring. Now, you flip it back over to do your chain, you wrap your loom on your hand, okay, to do this chain, and then you start tatting your chain. Then when you're done with your chain, you flip it back, wrap the loom on your hand for the ring. And it's the same thing. Exactly. It's like closing the lid on a box and opening it back up. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was one of our class projects. It's on video. So we had a lot of fun with this one. This would make a good project if you want to make a dolly or something, or even coasters out of it. Okay? So let me zoom out. That's how reverse work works. Okay? Now, the next thing you wanted to know about the shoelace trick. The shoelace trick. Jackie, have you ever tied your shoes? Like tennis shoes or something? Because if you have, the shoelace trick is the first part of tying that shoe. You just take your thread. That's what I was going to do for this. What I'm going to do is get my scissors over here, and I'm going to cut this off. This is what cheap thread is good for. when you need to cut it off and get it out of the way, you haven't lost anything. Okay? Now, we're going to do the shoelace trick. Pay very close attention. I've got one shoe here, and I've got one shoe over here with its little laces, right? And the shoelace trick is the first part of tying your shoes. And you pull it down to the motif. That is the shoelace trick. And you use that to change your working shuttle. Okay? Your working shuttle is the core thread shuttle. Okay? That's the one that's making all the movement. You want that one to be on top when working a ring. When you're working a chain, your working thread is the one you're going to grab. So it depends on what you're making. Everything is dependent upon what you're doing. So that's why I say think it through. You've finally got it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You got it. Just like knitting. Knit one side, purl on the back. You got it. And I don't knit, but I do remember that being said. It was told to me by someone that was a knitter. Is a knitter. Whatever. Pam, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So, Pam knits. She crochets too. Let me take this out. I feel like I'm still in a little too far because I'm shoving my work up to the window over here. Now, the next question was the bookmark. Now, I think you got confused, Jackie, on the color. You was looking at the pattern here and the colors in the center, and you was trying to do this. The colors here on the explanation is the two red rings are split rings. That's the only split rings in here. There is a mock picot. Okay? Right there between the two. Well, I am glad that is working for you, Jackie. I am so glad that's working for you. I honestly believe that the last class of the series should be something like this, so that you get a complete understanding. It's open forum. I mean, to hold it off till the end of the series, we can do it at any time we want. Okay? So, we just go with the flow. Now, on this pattern, these two red circles, you all call them circles. Some people call them loops. They're called rings. Okay, in the tatting world, they're rings. All right, they are both split rings according to the instructions. However, Jackie, if you're not feeling too up to snuff, and the rest of you, on this pattern, if you don't want to mess with these split rings right now, like you feel like you're not ready for it, tat this center part first. Cut and tie your ends. Then come back and start tatting on number 5 and connect it to number 4. You're going to join right there. And then you'll go all the way down here, around the bottom, back up, and you join in the same spot again. You do this chain, come over here, and you join to number 3. You do not have to tat this pattern with the split rings if you don't feel good about doing them. Okay, the flower bookmark. Pam, Anna, somebody, can you throw that up so that I can look at that pattern? If y'all got the link. Pam, more than likely you've got it. Pam keeps track of everything. With teaching 2 classes, I can't keep up with what I've taught. That's why I have Anna and Pam and Jeremy and a whole lot of people keeping me on track. Because not only am I doing the 2 classes I'm working on the wedding stuff, I am still working on the never-ending veil. Okay? And I've also got jewelry to make, tatted jewelry to make. So yeah, and I'm running out of time. The wedding's in September. So I'm hustling it. The flower bookmark. I cannot remember it. Let me see if I can find it on the website. Did we get it off of Rachel's site? Or is it on our site? I don't see it on our site. We may not be able to house it on our site, and that's why it came from Rachel's. The button one? This one? Is this the one she's talking about? You got the link on this? I don't have the link. If you got the link, grab it. We got time. I don't have to leave anytime soon. You want to see the veil? I haven't got anything put on it yet. I can show you the one heart. I'm working on this Sue's. Oh, it's in the other room. It's all in the other room. Hey, Dennis, can you bring me the purple thing I'm working the veil parts in? It's on that end table. Let me go get it. I think he's in the middle. Don't you chase me down. Don't you chase me down. She's coming to get me. Okay. I can show you the parts. I haven't got them attached. This here is the trim edging that's going on the veil. Okay. It's building. I had to stop that so that I could work on Sue's heart's desire. I've got to block it, but that's the heart. It's going at the top of the veil on both sides. Let me lay it out here. That's going up at the top on both sides. This is coming down the sides like this of the veil, attaching here and going down. Then it comes to the center point for this other heart. Got it blocking here in my book. All right, book, release my heart. There it is. It's to this heart. Okay, and then it will join to this, and then I'll pick up the other half here of this trim and go up the other side to another heart. The two hearts represent my son and his girlfriend, fiance, and it's called Two Hearts Joined Together, Following the Train to Become Two Hearts Entwined. And that's what's going to be on this veil. And the veil is 115 inches long. Calculated up. It's well over 9 feet of trim. So, yeah, this all is, I have been driving myself batty with this stuff, trying to get it all just perfect. And I've got the flowers I did for them. I did all the bridesmaids, the maid of honor, the bride's bouquet, all the boutonnieres, all the corsages, and everything. You can't find it? Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. She asked me when I first met her, I was tatting a doily for a friend. And needless to say, she saw it and she said, "Oh my God, what is that? I'd love to learn it." And I told her, I said, "Well," I said, "I'll teach you. Not a problem." And she called me up and she asked me, she said, "On my veil, would you please make my veil and have your tatting on it?" I was so humbled when she said that. It absolutely blew my mind. So, yeah. Yeah, and it was I can't remember which video. Let me go see. Let me go see. I can't remember. I got some patterns saved over here. I may have that pattern in here. And it'll tell me where I got it. I'll show you the jewelry. I finally got the finished pattern. There it is. This is the jewelry I'm making. The necklace and the earrings for her. So, this pattern was done for her. So, there you go. Now, this is my pattern locations and different patterns. I've still got to make the roses for the tables. Y'all just have to bear with me. These are patterns I have picked out. And these are not the ones that I wanted. Nope. Where are the other ones? I know I've got them. They're here somewhere. Honestly, they are. I shouldn't have cleaned up my room. That's what happened. I clean up my room and I lose everything. But I have the pattern. I'll send it to you, Lillian. I have to find it again. It's at the bottom of one of the videos. Okay, you got it? All right, get it. Share it with her. All right, so she's going to send you all that. And seriously, use the cork buttons. You can get them at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Get that and use the cork buttons, and they make really great coasters. I'm just saying. All right, so we got that pretty much under control. All right, how to draw a pattern. Now, I don't teach design, Jackie. That's what Sue teaches. And I don't know when she's going to be starting her classes back up, but she can help you with that. Okay, it's under the video. Should be. There it is. I put it on the video for you guys. That's the video that teaches that pattern. And the pattern should be under that video, isn't it, Anna? All right, so let's move on. I have Corinne's questions here. Now, Jackie, I'm going to set up some time with you one-on-one. Is that okay? Just send me an email. We're going to work on this. We're going to walk it through, okay? I think that would be easier if we do that. Oh, you like buttons and tatting together. Awesome. Awesome. We might have to do some more of that. Okay. Now, before I get to you, Corinne, I want to tell you all how to change direction. The easy way to tell you is switch shuttles. Okay, that pattern that you're sharing, Anna, that is Jennifer's. That's not Rachel's. So, Jackie, send the pattern in that you're talking about, the name of it, the actual name of the pattern, and then we'll go from there. How about that? But I will work with you one-on-one, honey. Don't worry about it. All right, so how to change direction on any chain, because Lillian, you was in tatting and chatting, and uh, the way you do that, okay, you've got two shuttles. Now, I'm going to just tie these together. This one doesn't have a lot of thread, so it's about done for. I'll be glad. By the way, folks, I just ordered a whole bunch of tatting thread from Handy Hands in size 3, so we don't have to use the boats. I don't like using boats. Okay, now I'm going to tat up like 6 double stitches, and then I'm going to switch directions. All right, I'm going to show you how you do that. Now I just tied a knot in here. Okay, I'm going to set up my loom for a chain, and we're going to do 6 double stitches. Now the first 6 are going to be blue. Watch, because that's our working thread. It's putting our stitches on there. See that? We got a white shuttle. That's core thread. Blue is coming from here. That's our working thread. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, when you switch shuttles, gotta do the other half of that. When you switch shuttles, this is what you do. You reverse your work, or you come in with the other shuttle. Now, that's what I'm going to do. You come in with the other shuttle. You put it on the loom. And the best way to get it to reverse your work is reverse your work. Okay, best way to get it to work is to reverse your work. So therefore, you're going to have that half stitch sitting there because we're doing traditional. Now, when we reverse our work, we put in our stitches just like normal, and it changes the thread, and it also changes the direction. Okay, and as you can see, she's starting to change and curve the other way. That's how you do it. Okay, I'll have to look it up. Let me look it up. Y'all got time to hang around? I mean, anybody got anything important they're going to run off and do today? Let me do a search for it because I'll have to find it. All right, we got the link to the video, right? I'm thinking it was a Jennifer Williams. Let me get my keyboard out. Okay. I think you're right on that. I'm thinking this is a Jennifer Williams pattern. And it is. It's a buttons flower. All right. There's the Jennifer Williams one. Let me give that to you. That's Jennifer Williams. That's the button flower that I showed. Now we want a Rachel Muller. I bet I'm spelling her name wrong. I'm good for that. I just can annihilate people's names. I'm serious. I just can. The easy tatted cross, is that the one you're looking at? Okay. 2011. Okay, it's in the files. So, let me get it out of the files. Give me just a second, just a second, just a second. It's not in there. What exactly is the pattern look like, Jackie? Let me go check the email real quick, see if I can locate it from there. Pam, I'm going into the email. I'm not going to do anything. Nothing at all, I promise. There we go. Oh, now I know. Now I remember this one. Okay. Did I share this in class? I should have. I probably did, but I don't see it up on the site. I'm thinking I'm looking in the wrong spot for it now that I know what it is. Bookmarks. There it is. I knew if y'all give me a minute, I could do this. I can do this stuff, folks. I can. It just takes me a while. There is the pattern. Okay. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. All right. Now, we're on track. Jackie, I'm going to set up a time with you. You send me the days that you're available. We're going to work on this pattern together. Okay, sweetie? It just takes me a while. I'm slow when it comes to tech. You know, I am not technically savvy. Just saying. Haven't been technically savvy in a very long time. So, let me change the camera angle back to this. Now, the next thing, Corinne, you wanted to know about the samples in my book. Yes, my keyboard folds up like this. When you live in small spaces, you get small things. So, you wanted to know about my book and my pages. I will. On the veil. Now, on here, and all of you, when you do this, make sure you use your own tatting, because my tatting is tighter than yours, and as you go, your tatting will be tighter as you progress. Now, let me tell you something about this. Every year, because you change over the years, I will retat everything. Okay? I have all these threads in my supply. I will retat them so that I have exact counts. That is the first thing. All right? Now, you see this. This is size 80 coordinate special. This is some really thin stuff, okay? It's a specific tatting thread. Dates back from way back, but the stuff I got's new. All right? Now, on mine, I have these little inch marks. See that? It's an inch mark. I took a ruler and I laid it down and I marked an inch from the beginning to the end. And I tatted a chain. And I tatted a tight chain. And I laid it on there straight. I had to pull it because it wanted to curve. Okay? And I laid it on there straight. And I counted the stitches. And I have on a size, we'll go with Elizabeth, size 20 Elizabeth right here. I have 15 stitches in a size 20 in a 1-inch space. Size 10, I have 12 inches, or 12 stitches in a 1-inch space. 40 is 17. 80 is 24. Okay? Now, what you do is you tat up the threads you use most often. Put them in your book and do the 1-inch mark. After you do that, you pull out your handy dandy do it all pattern and your calculator. And you count rings only, how many double stitches are in each ring. And you write them down or calculate them up. Okay? Then you do your chains. Now, after you do that, you know that there's 15 stitches. If you're using size 20 thread, there's 15 stitches according to my records for my tatting. I have 15 stitches to each inch of size 20. Now, you count up all those stitches you've got throughout the pattern. If this is going to be a big pattern, I wouldn't do this. Smaller patterns like this, yeah, you can. But if you're doing a big, humongous 36-inch doily, a tablecloth, a bedspread, I wouldn't worry about it, okay? That's too much math for my brain, okay? So you take 15 and you would divide it into your number of stitches for your chains. Then you would divide that same 15 into your number of stitches for your rings. Okay? Now, if you have a pattern that repeats the rings, which most of your smaller motifs do, then you can say, okay, I got 10 rings that have this many stitches, 10 times this many stitches, and that gives you the total in rings. Same with chains. Okay? Now, once you do that, then you divide 15 into the total, and it will tell you how many yards, inches, feet, whatever you're going to need. It'll come out in inches, though. Okay? So it'll say something like 16 to 50 inches. You divide that by 12, and it will tell you, or by 3, and it will tell you how many feet you will need. Okay? Then you add in extra for your picots, joins, and boo-boos. Okay? Because if you make a boo-boo and you tear your thread, you've got to add in extra for fixing it. Okay? So, on my rule of thumb, what I would do is I would multiply 15, or divide the 15 into the number of stitches for both the rings and the chains. Add those two numbers together. Then divide that number by 15. Okay? Once you do that, or multiply it by 15. I can't remember. Let me do it again. All right, I have to calculate it to show you. It's, like I said, that's too much mathing for my brain. You say you've got this motif. It takes 125 stitches. Okay? Now you multiply that 125 stitches times 15. Okay? Once you multiply it, you'll come up with your figure. We'll say, I don't have my calculator. We'll just do it real quick. All right? Calculator, pop out here and say hello to me. I use my phone quite often for this. 125 times 15 equals 1,875 inches. Now, you divide that by 12. There's 12 inches in a foot. And that's 156. Okay, feet total. Okay, now you break that down into yards. You divide that by 3 and it gives you your total. I mean, it's seriously a lot of math. Me, I am one that will fill a shuttle to the max, depending on the pattern I do. For a pattern like this, I would use a clover shuttle. I would fill it up. Because I know from experience that this pattern A clover shuttle will make me 2. Okay? So therefore, you've got everything right there handy that you need. Okay? Yeah, Chat GPT, great. AI, any kind of AI will tell you. I had AI do a pattern up for me. I'm trying to do a 3-dimensional lotus. Okay, I love lotus flowers because of their meaning. It means a new beginning. And a lotus does create a new beginning every day. And if you think about it, every day is a new beginning for us. Every time we wake up, it's a new day, it's a new beginning for a better day. And if you noticed, I wear a lotus ring, okay, for that purpose. It reminds me every day it's going to be a better day today than it was yesterday because I have a new beginning. So that's what I've been working with. And I just, out of curiosity, I had my husband, I said, well, see what we can come up with. Do you know that thing wrote an entire pattern for the lotus flower in tatting? Now I just got to figure out how to tat it. That's the next thing. So, but yeah, math is a bugger when it comes to tatting. All right, you got 6 rings of 3. All right, 3 picot. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you would add 6 times 3. Okay, first off, let me get the calculator out. Can y'all see my phone? Okay, I got all kinds of stuff on here. We're going to clear it. Now, you've got 6 rings that have 6 sections of 3s, right? Is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah, 6. So you go 6 times 3 equals 18. Now you got to multiply that times 6 again. That gives you 108 double stitches. Okay, so you'd write down that number. What did I do with my pen? Let's say 108. Corinne, are you taking notes? Please do. Okay, now you're going to divide that 108 by 15. Okay, so you go 108 divided by 15. That's what my count is for size 20 thread. And I get 7.2. 7.2. Now what that 7.2 is how much thread it's going to take to make those 6 rings. 7 inches, 0.2 tenths. Okay, what would I do? I would round it up to 8. That would cover some of the picots in there. Now we've got the same thing for our rings, but we've got 108 for our rings and our chains. So you would say 108, you'd come up with the same 7.2, and it would be 14.2 inches. Okay, 14.2 inches would be 1 foot 2 inches. Okay, rounded up because you've got the extra 2 on both, rounded up 2 inches. Okay, and say we got 1 foot 2 inches, add 2 more inches, 1 foot 4 inches. Now you've got all them picots and joins you've got. Then you got to add in for that. Now, if you've got something that's heavily laden with picots, do 6 inches added to it automatically. You got a lot of joins in there, again, 6 inches. Then when you finish tatting your piece, use what's left on your shuttle and tat a butterfly. Tat a motif, a ring motif. Just rings and chains. Join them together. You can always use it for something. A starter piece, a practice piece. Okay? Okay, your helper thread, yours is always so tight together because of your tension. You shouldn't be tatting with your helper thread. Are you talking the helper threads where you pull the ends through? If that's the helper thread, the magic thread is what that's called. The helper thread is what we tie on our shuttles so that we got extra thread on the shuttle so that we can tat to the end of the thread. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Anna. Okay. The helper thread, you have to really tat loose with that so you have the room to pull your thread because you're pulling 2 cores through. Okay. The easiest thing I can tell you is to be sure you're tatting a little looser than normal, but not too loose. I mean, it's a fine line. That's why I don't like helper loops. I don't like magic thread. And the reason I don't, I have more control with hiding the ends by sewing them in. And the best way I know to sew in the ends that they don't come out is to sew them in like you do in crochet. You know how you weave it one way and then you come back the other way? Well, I use the caps of the stitches. I go up one cap, down the next, up one, down the next, all the way across. Okay, and then I come back 3 stitches doing the same thing. And when I pull that on the, before I start back, I pull it tight. So it drops that thread down into the cavity between the front and the back of the tatted piece. When you come back, it works it in under all of that. Does that make sense? I don't have my thread and stuff set up to show you right now. But that's how I do it. I do have a video that shows how to sew in your ends. And it is on the channel. And it's under Beginner Shuttle Techniques. And it shows you how it drops it down into that channel between the 2 sides of the double stitch. Because if you look at it top down, you'll see there's a channel right there. Let me get it up here so you can see. Maybe y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me get over here at the yellow. Maybe that'll be better. You see there's a channel that runs right here at the top. Okay. And you pull it tight enough, it drops it down. How do you put a shuttle helper thread? Oh, that's easy. That's the easiest question. Let me get a shuttle over here. I'll show you. I don't know if I can find one. Of course, I need one. I don't have one. Here we go. I got a shuttle here that doesn't have any helper on it. We're going to put a helper on her. See, there's my shuttle. All right. I took it off of there so I could show you. You want to run this through. I'm hoping this thread ain't too thick for this shuttle. If it is, it just is. We make it work. I can always buy a new shuttle if I break it. Lord knows I got a whole cabinet full. All right. You pull it through the hole. If there's no hole, you wrap it around the post. Okay? Then you bring it around and you just tie it onto the post. Okay? You can do it this way or you can use a slip knot. Things, it's up to you. I do it this way because the slip knot tends with time to work its way out. This is more of a permanent knot. Okay? And it doesn't come out unless you cut it out. Okay? Then after you get it in there, you're only wrapping it one side of that post. See, it's only on one side. Then you trim that off. Get as much of that loose thread out of your way so it's not a problem child. Take the other end, pull it down. Now this loop can be as big as you want or as small as you want. It's up to you. There's no set dimension. The length of thread can be as long as you want it or as short as you want it. Just remember, the longer it is, the more room you've got to work with. Because this is going to be what you're tatting with once you run out of thread. Okay? When you get to the point you can't work that end thread, that's what you're going to use, is this part. Okay? Now, to put thread on there, as if we were going to wrap a shuttle, look at this. Make a loop with the thread. You put this loop through the shuttle loop. That came off. I didn't have enough thread, but that's all right. Once you do that, then you run this through. This would be the shuttle. You run the shuttle through. And then you just pull the two of them together like that, and you're latched in. When you're ready to remove it, just take it off like that. Boom. Take it out, and you're done. And you would tat what's on all the way to the end of this with your shuttle. I did not mean for that to come out. My nails are getting in my way. I got to saw these things off. Y'all only knew what trouble I went through to cut these things off. I tried toenail clippers once. That didn't work. I've got the strongest nails you ever saw. Let me get it on there. Anyway, once you've got it on here and everything's peaches and cream and working right, then this will stay on there. And you just take your scissors, okay? There'll be a knot. Take your scissors, go in there and work it under there and just snip, and the whole thing comes off when it gets dirty. Or it gets wore, whatever the case may be, whatever you need to remove it for, that's how you do it. Okay, so, all right, so I think I got most of y'all's questions. We went over just a few minutes, and it's okay. Remember, practice your stitches. When you're picking out your stitches, backing it out, get you a crochet hook that has a rounded tip. That is the best tip I can give you. There are crochet hooks. They're just like the Havel needles. Okay, any needle tatter knows, don't use a Havel needle unless you're going in for blood work. Just saying. If you get one that has a rounded tip, not the sharp pointy thing, you can go in there. Okay, if you split your thread, gently pull it back out. But this will also prevent you from stabbing yourself with your crochet hook. There is nothing worse than getting a crochet hook stuck in your finger. Okay, now here's a little hint for you guys. If you've got, let me see if I've got one sticking in here somewhere. If you can get one of those little rubber mats, the back of a mouse pad, okay, even the mouse pad itself, okay, a bead mat, anything. When you've got to work a stitch out, use it on there, not your finger, if you're using tiny crochet hooks, so you don't end up bleeding all over your thread, okay? And you just work it out. You just dig in there. But if you're on something that is a solid surface, like your mouse pad, okay, your tatting's not going nowhere and you're not going to split your plies. But you work on something like this and you've got give, like this does, anything that's padded will have, you've got give, you're going to split your plies. Plan on it. That's why when you take your stitches out using your finger, you split your plies more than you don't. And you just pick at it. You take your time. There is no red lights. Okay? You take your time. Take it slow and easy. It's a sunny day. You're taking a Sunday drive. Look at it that way. I got a mistake. I got to pick it out, but I got to be careful. And if you approach your tatting that way, you will make miraculous improvements in every facet of tatting. Okay? Just take your time. There's always another day to pick it up. Okay? Now, Don't forget to take care of yourself too. Don't spend all of your time tatting. And don't look at things that need to be done today. You don't want tatting that you have to work on Speedy Gonzalez and finish it up today. Because you get tatting like that, you're asking for heaps of trouble. Anytime you want to do commission work, give yourself plenty of time. I mean, if it's going to happen, that's when it's going to happen. Okay? So with that, I'm going to call it a class. Remember, we'll be back October 7th. You all need any help, you let me know. Okay? I am available to have a private class with you, but it'll have to be scheduled around the people that have standing classes and doctor appointments. Okay? Just remember, there's no time limit. When I'm with you to work and learn. Okay? To help you. If you've got a Humpty you got to take care of, just let me know. All right? And we're always here for you. If y'all got a question, you can't find something that you've looked for, write in. Pam will direct you. Yeah, it's October 9th for the beginners. Thank you, Pam. I know, my brain is dead. So, thank you for coming. Everybody, I want you to have a great weekend. I feel confident that everything's going to be fine, especially after the blood work. If she felt like, this new doctor, if she felt like I needed treatment for something, she would have said so. So, with that said, much love to you all. And I will see you all in October. You will see me at Tat Days, for those of you who are coming. And we will do a special video during Tat Days. If Georgia is up for an interview, we will do another interview with Georgia. She always loves to hear from you guys. So with that said, y'all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. If you need me, I'm here for you. Otherwise, enjoy your threads and practice, practice, practice. Happy tatting, everyone. Take care and I love you bunches. All right? Bye-bye.